Hello everyone, what is up? Hopefully you guys are having an amazing day. Today we're going to be talking about what's happening with XRP in the XRP community. Now in CoinMarketCap, XRP is almost 19 cents. We can see the change and we're in the red today. So I did just buy more XRP before I started recording this video. Again, dollar cost averaging in. But if you go to Mr. Level Up's tweet, listen to this video part 1 of 2.
You know what's interesting about this fractal right now? It is I wasn't looking for it. I was mostly looking for a shock moment. I was trying to think. I was like, all right, we're gonna go up and then we're gonna paint that like 2017 and then kind of shoot that. And I'm like, you know what? That's probably maybe what we'll do. I knew we were gonna hang out here for a little bit. Obviously, I didn't think we just would drop right there. It's nothing drastic, but that's where we're at right now. So I then came to mind. I'm like, that's like that September move that it did, which I remember this because I've studied these bursts right before the burst moments. I looked at them all. So, you know, this was Tuesday, on a Tuesday. I remember watching it. I was watching it shoot up on my phone. I'm sitting there just watching this candle just keep on growing, and I'm just like, holy shit. It went all the way up from 27 cents. I think it went and touched 75 cents or something like that. Like literally within 48 hours. What is a better time to actually do this on a weekend with banks closed, holiday weekend? No one would be able to, like, is going to make moves to buy. If they get signal like, hey, this thing just shot all the way up to 50 cents or 60 cents, I mean, it's not like anybody's going to be able to run to that because it would happen in the middle of the night tonight. So Saturday, you're not buying. Sunday, you're not buying unless you've already had money in. And then Monday, I mean, I don't know. I mean, the banks are so, like, it's all on lockdown anyways. So this thing is scaling, and it's going to be over 50 cents by the time anybody can even make a move. And that's even if the ones wanted to believe it. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. You can see the MACD is printing it. Look, I'm about 40% on it. I think it's got a shot. I don't think it's 100% like, oh, this is certain. I do think this fractal, where we're at in the bigger picture, we go up. Everything's pretty much lined up, man. So this is a fractal. The last time that we did this, it did this fractal. So this is the most recent program algorithm that was used to do a shot like that. All we can do is watch. This is interesting. If I'm you guys, I'm very interested to watch this thing because it's literally responding very, very similar.
Now that is quite interesting because if we take a look at this right here, so look at this, it's very similar. It looks like, look at that, we came all the way back down. Now we could be seeing these upward moves, but who knows if we're going to see these types of slingshots in the upcoming days. Now guys, before we jump into news, I'd like to say I'm not a financial advisor, nor this financial advice is just for entertainment value only. The cryptic poet tweeted out,
the last component is regulation, and you know, you can't work with in payments without talking about the regulatory aspect. We've been working with central banks from around the world, Sama in the Middle East, Bank of England, two examples that we've done pilots with to show the benefits of using blockchain technology to more efficiently move money. It's a big education project. This is something that we started 5 years ago, the conversations, the education. I think now other blockchain companies are starting to realize that you can't really innovate without taking the government and regulation in stride. We've been doing this for about 5 years. We have 40 different relations across the world to make sure that we're adhering to local regulations and standards as well. The last,
again, something we have started 5 years ago, and plus regulations should happen. Next week comes from the Crypto Council. We could see here.
So dollars are going everywhere right now because of the strength of the dollar in relative relationship to other currencies. They're more than willing to take it. So what's going to end up happening? Boom! They're going to flip a switch, and they're going to say, here we have a new system for you right now, and this is what you're going to start to use to transact. And I can promise you it's not going to be a bill or a coin. It's going to be a completely digital currency in my view. We can take our coins and stick them to the wall, not ones that are made of silver or gold, like the coins they have today, and right. Wallpaper dollars over them, and you're going to tell your grandchildren that this is what we used to transact in.
There you go, guys. Boom, they're gonna flip a switch, a digital currency, so it's not going to be the dollar, it's going to be a different system. Next it comes from Boy XRP.
Maybe to that, I mean, a big part of the value proposition of Ripple, I think, is the cryptocurrency, the XRP. I think that's another one worthy of debate. There we do find that the banks are also, at least when they talk to us, they may tell you different things, they are hesitant to convert things into a currency, a cryptocurrency right now, because of the volatility in the currencies, because of the fact that you don't have the deep liquidity that you have in, for example, the dollar as a clearing unit at the end of the day. So again, when we engage banks, we don't find them ready for a model where you convert it into crypto and then convert it back, and that has to do with many things: regulation, volatility, and all the things that are being debated around crypto. But that's a whole separate debate.
This is, well, it's not really a separate debate, because I think there's two important things about this, and Gottfried mentioned this earlier. SWIFT today is a one-way messaging framework. It actually isn't a liquidity provider, right? It's Swift messaging partnered with bank liquidity. When we think about an internet of value, it's a mixture of two-way messaging frameworks, moving to real-time, a chatty protocol, if you will, coupled with real-time liquidity. And I hear people talk about volatility, and I feel like they're propagating misinformation. The volatility risk of fiat, volatility is just a mathematical calculation of time times volatility. If you hold fiat for, let's say, an average SWIFT transaction today is in the order of magnitude 2 days, that's about 180,000 seconds. An XRP transaction is 3 seconds. So if you take a low volatile asset times a long duration, fiat, or a high volatility asset versus a very, very short amount of time, it turns out mathematically there's less volatility risk in an XRP transaction than there is in a fiat transaction. The difference is you have market makers. When you do a SWIFT transaction, there's banks saying, there's a market maker saying, I'll lock in that rate. I'll take the volatility risk for the next 2 or 3 days. With XRP, you don't have to do that because it settles so quickly.
With XRP, you don't have to do that because it settles so quickly. 3 seconds. Fast settlement times, guys. Next one comes from XRP Stewart.
I think they absolutely want much better digital currencies.
Yeah.
They want that.
Yeah, and you can't give 7 billion people Bitcoin accounts because it's just too slow. But they can use crypto. Well, not a distributed ledger that's global. That will not work. And it's because of the whole nature of the concept of Bitcoin, which is like gold, which is a thing that you have to mine, and you have to track it from point to point to point, and supposedly you have to keep track of it. And all these computers, it already takes as much computing power to do one transaction or it takes as much electricity as a household uses in a day, and this is for a very small portion of the money supply. But I would say that the whole cryptography idea is great, and what has come off of blockchain is great. But the first generation of this model is not going to work. The banks themselves are not looking at blockchain. Well, Satoshi Nakamoto never used the term blockchain, so it's not really clear what a blockchain is. But they looked at blockchain at first, meaning a distributed ledger that was global, and they decided that it was too slow. And so now what they're using is something they're using Ripple, which is a series of blockchains or a series of ledgers, which is what banks do anyway. They clear ledgers within their own bank, and then at the next level they clear them at the level of the Federal Reserve, and at the next level they clear them through the SWIFT system. So this cryptography that they're looking at and using and liking is very efficient. It's good for everybody. It's cheaper. You don't have to have all these middlemen. But it is not literally a universal distributed ledger, which actually won't work.
And plus they're using Ripple, guys. Bitcoin, it's just too slow. Much computing power, this model is not going to work. It comes from Assets Daily.
That they would like to see additional stimulus checks made. Have you guys thrown around an amount of how much money?
No, but I like the concept of it. I think it's good. We're talking about a different way of doing it, but I like the concept. I like the concept of infrastructure. Our country has to be rebuilt. They spend all this money in the Middle East, $8 trillion. We're up to now $8 trillion in the Middle East. We got to rebuild our country. Okay, we have to rebuild our roads and our schools, our bridges. We have to rebuild our country. So I like an infrastructure bill. I also like money going directly to people. It's not their fault that this happened. And I do think this, especially the faster we can get it open, our country. Can you believe we're talking about our country, getting our country open? The faster we get it open, the bigger the boom, the bigger the rocket ship going up.
The bigger the rocket ship going up. And remember, sending money directly again. So look at this. I like money going directly to people. It really is all here. Look what they're stating, you know. It's just a matter of time, in my opinion. Now guys, we're to the fun part of XRP in the XRP community. Now this is quite interesting. Luminous Design tweeted out, I don't see regulations coming in May. Neither Bank of America announcement, we didn't even get into the storm. If you think this is a storm, you better think again. This is just warming up. Real storm might hit in May plus and most likely end of May or June. So guys, we might be just warming up right now and the real storm might actually hit in May to June. But who knows what's going to honestly happen. Two comes from Robert Art. Don't let the potentially incoming dump catch you unawares. By failing to prepare, you prepare to fail. This connects to the next tweet right here again. Robert Art, you can run, you can hide, but you can't escape sub 10 cents XRP. So we'll have to see, guys. Either way, if it goes down there, I'll be buying. Next here comes from XRP HODL. We can see here Mr. Pool at the top. We can see David Schwartz at the bottom, buckle up, announcement, question mark. Now, so that is quite fascinating to see because it does kind of look like it connects. Now, the final tweet for today's video comes from Bob Cugs. XRP, $589 plus. By the way, 589 plus means $2,000, but I'm sure you didn't need me to explain that. So guys, 2K, remember 2K is the goal, but what might be the end goal of this whole event of XRP? Could it be 10K? You know, in many years from now, who knows? But anyways, guys, hopefully you guys did enjoy today's video. If you guys did, please leave a like, subscribe if you guys haven't already. I'll see you guys in the next video. Hopefully you guys are having an amazing day, and you guys, see ya.